Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burney.
I'm Brent Apperson. Good morning.
.31, 65, maybe down to 64 now as our temperature has been dropping. We have a cloudy sky over the top this morning, and we picked up 92 hundredths precipitation overnight here at KCNI KBBN Studios. Now, I don't know if they haven't updated it yet or not, but the Broken Bow Airport was showing 45 hundredths, but it could be one of those kinds of rains, especially if your rain gauge doesn't tilt sideways a little bit, because
oh man
oh boy, winds at 60 miles an hour and heavy rain and sheets of it. Brent and yours truly were headed home from the ball game from Holdridge last night, along with some other folks who were trying to make their way back to Custer County, and it was pretty brutal. It was hard to see. The sheets of rain was sideways, pushing the car around a little bit. It was kind of spooky, actually, and Brent pulled over and we pulled over and let some traffic go through, and some other folks pulled off the side too. It was just too hard to see. So that kind of tells you how hard that rain was coming with those winds. And there were some smaller limbs out in the highway from some of the shelter belts, and you might keep that in mind as you're traveling this morning if you're coming into town from any direction, because they may not be picked up yet and you don't want to puncture a tire or something like that. But it was pretty wild.
That Ansley to Berwyn trek was something last night. So, yeah, hope everybody got home safe.
Yep. Threatening weather really from late afternoon through the evening. I think Jeff was on till 11:30 or so last night, with storm warnings starting down in Lincoln County and coming up through, as it often does, the Callaway area and Cumro area up through there. But it reached up into the center of Custer County, south center of Custer County, and don't know what anybody else got. It was moving on to adjoining counties to the east last night. Don't know how long it held its power, but it was definitely an experience. I've not driven in anything like that for a number of years. So,
yeah, I would probably agree with that. With the, I've driven in some real heavy rain, but not with the combined with the wind, maybe like that.
Sideways,
and at night.
At night with the lightning and everything. And they did get the ball game in last night. If you were listening, you know that. It was a lengthy ball game. Started about a quarter after 7 and got over around 10 or so.
10, pretty much.
It was one of those games where the pitchers were struggling, and there were a few errors. It wasn't as pretty a game as you might have seen before, but as the coaches said after the game for Broken Bow, it's a W.
That's right. Win and advance, baby.
Yep.
Win and advance. That's what a tournament's all about, and Broken Bow has done that. They're the only team that is still undefeated in the double elimination tournament, so regardless of what happens with their game today, and Broken Bow will play a game today. They'll play Gothenburg at 5, and regardless of what happens there, Broken Bow will play tomorrow for the championship.
It's a little different way, or maybe they're doing all the tournaments that way these days. Joan and I were talking about it last night before we hit the rain. The tournaments that we used to attend when our kids played, back in the years ago, you wouldn't probably be playing tonight if you hadn't been defeated. So it's a little different way of doing things. It's interesting.
Yeah, there's 7 teams in this tournament, and the way the Legion does the 7-team bracket is a little different. Yeah, I agree with you. Usually if a team is able to go through the winner's bracket, lots of times you'll see them get maybe a day off late in the tournament, but that's not the case when you have 7 teams involved, at least with the way this bracket is set up.
All right, so they'll play tonight and tomorrow night in Holdridge. Weather permitting. We don't know what they got in Holdridge. It was beginning to get stormy when we left there, but they were covering up the field and doing all the things they could to preserve the conditions there. So that will be interesting. And then not too far away down the road, hopefully, we'll be covering the juniors at state tournament, and that is being held where? That's in
Wahoo,
Nebraska.
And it would start Saturday.
real quick.
A very quick turnaround.
Well, as we discussed last night, they, there's a lot of those kids that have the taste of a state tournament and they didn't get a W, and they want to go down and get lots of W's. So it should be a lot of fun. I know they're determined, and they're hitting the ball pretty darn good. I heard last night, Joan told me that the gentleman that was sitting beside her, his son was playing for Holdridge. He didn't remember anybody hitting the ball quite as far as Max Denson did last night, straight center field, and it carried way past that fence. It was way up in the air. It wasn't even close. So that was with a crosswind. So I don't know how far that thing actually went, Brent, but that was a smash.
He hit it hard and long.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, Max Denson had a home run last night, his 7th at the juniors level, and he's hit more at the seniors level too. He's in double digits.
Yeah.
If you take in both levels, juniors and seniors, double digits in home runs this year. It's pretty amazing.
It is. Fun to watch, fun to listen to. Let's back up for a moment. A busy weekend it was, as the Litchfield folks put on a great festival, the Old Settlers Picnic. Joan and I traveled down there Saturday morning, and boy, what a parade they had. And they had everything set up for all the things that they described on the breakfast show earlier in the week. And they really were ready to go. Quite a parade. Towns that size amaze us. Tractors, antique cars, floats, just numerous businesses displaying their signs and so forth. It was lots of kids in the float, sitting in the water, pretending they were fishing. Summer theme, and it was really a lot of fun, and they had a great time there. And then the Devil's Den motorcycle rally, lots of motorcycles in the area this weekend coming in, going for the road rally and raising some money for good causes and having some fun, listening to some music. And then here in Broken Bow, you had the alumni celebrations, and you see a lot of pictures popping up of different classes. And then, of course, things going on out at the fairgrounds, the carnival, and some horses out there competing with riders on them, I think. And that's what took place last week, and we're probably not telling everything that took place. The festival season winding down just a little bit. We'll have a little bit of break from festivals, but not much. There'll be some things coming up that we'll be talking about festival-wise. And then, of course, baseball coming up, Custer County Fair, SORC, then football, and
yeah, we're
on and on.
We're not too far away from starting high school sports.
That's true.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm sure the kids are scratching their heads going, it's July 11th, and they'll be back in school less than a month from now.
Yeah.
So it's gone by quickly. As usual, we're all waiting for spring and summer, and then all of a sudden, here we are and looking at the end of summer. And that comes sooner than it used to. It used to be a lot of this activity didn't happen until later in August, but it's not the way it is these days.
Oh.
Also today is International Town Criers Day today.
Town Criers Day.
Heary, heary.
Oh, okay. Those types of criers. Okay.
Usually was bad news when they did that. Heary, heary.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where the saying, don't shoot the messenger came from.
Ah.
So don't get mad at the people that tell you the bad news is what we're saying here. It's also, and I don't get this, this is not something I would do, but it is a free country as far as we know. So do it if you want to, but it's All-American Pet Photo Day.
Take a picture of your pet.
Well, but in this case, you dress them up.
Oh.
Dress up.
I see.
Mr. Whiskers in a ridiculous outfit. Cats, for instance, when you dress them up, they're embarrassed. They know you're making them look silly. But it's up to you guys. You can also just take a photo of your favorite pet. You don't have to dress up your dog, your cat, or your iguana, or whatever you have, your snake. I guess you could dress up your snake as a politician.
I don't know if I should say anything after that.
I don't know. Have you watched the news lately?
No, I try not to. I just try not to.
I don't think they need costumes.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. Oh, we'll be visiting with the grocery cart today. Runza will be in, and on our list also would be Ideal Realty. Those are our guests for today. And anything else on your mind?
No, I just baseball's been on my mind. So yeah, we'll have the game on tonight against Gothenburg at 5, and we know Broken Bow will be playing tomorrow as well. So we'll be there for the last 2. Hey, we've been there for the first 3 days of the tournament. We ain't stopping now.
No, it's too much fun watching the ball games. And I have a little baseball field history today. Talked about a little bit last night during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of got Joan and I digging into minor league baseball in Nebraska, if you'd like to talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would like to hear some of the things that you discovered.
Well, Joan's a researcher, so
I know
once she
she
dived
is.
in, we found out a lot about how many minor league parks there was in Nebraska at one time, and I think you'll be surprised.
Really?
Yeah. Holdridge was one of them. We told you that last night. They were a minor league park for the White Sox.
Huh.
And they did that for 3 seasons, and it's quite a story how they did that. It's kind of fun to talk about. And, of course, you would suspect that Lincoln and Omaha would have minor league parks, and they still do.
Sure.
But communities the size of Humboldt, Nebraska, even had a minor league team.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
In the meantime, you want to play the game?
Well, yeah, let's do that.
Oh, before we do that.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry. We talked about it last night also during the ball game. You may have heard that one of our favorite people, and I think in most cases almost the entire county's one of the favorite people around, is Billy Bales.
Broken Bow's #1 sports fan.
Yes, very much so. And he ran into some health issues after the game on Friday night and ended up in the hospital in Omaha at Bergen. And for lack of a better word, he had a stroke or a brain bleed. There's a medical name for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very, very serious. They didn't know what was going to happen, and we were all worried about it. And if you watched Facebook yesterday, you saw that Billy had surgery on Saturday evening, and they were waiting to see what his recovery was on Sunday because they really didn't know. They went in and fixed the clot or whatever it was, and got things fixed really well, the way it sounded. But when they do that, they don't know exactly what the results will be as far as, mental capacity and so
Sure.
forth. And we said this last night, and it's a fun story to tell because it's a happy story. But Billy's family, we communicated with them yesterday because before we talked about it on the air last night, wanted to make sure it was correct. And they had been posting updates because they said Billy has so many fans, they thought this was the only way they could answer all the questions they were getting.
I'm sure.
And so it was on Facebook, so many of you know this, but he woke up Sunday and was in really good shape. And once they took the tubes and so forth out where he could speak, his first question was, did Broken Bow win last night? And so he's 100%.
Good.
And is in recovery, and things are going well. And it also was noted in the Facebook from the Bealses that the nurses may not let him go. They are having so much fun with Billy. He may stay in Omaha, but we hope not.
Yeah. Well, I know when I arrived to the ballpark on Saturday, I was informed of the news, and I know that the coaches and the kids made it known that they're playing this tournament for Billy. And Billy, I'm telling you, you'd be proud of the way they've played so far. They've played real well for you.
Yes, and last night was a good example. They gutted it out. It was a difficult game. Billy, the strike zone was tight for both teams. There was some errors that you typically don't see with two good teams like that. The wind was blowing the ball around, and it was one of those games where I felt like it was about like 2 or 3 different games in segments. It was like the Broken Bow the bats were hot, they went a little cold. Billy, you would have been, I know you would have been worked up. Hopefully you didn't get too worked up last night if you were listening.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's the news on Billy, and we're so happy to be able to announce that today because I know everyone was worried when the news was out when Billy took ill after the game on Friday. So let's play the game.
All right, let's do. We're asking questions about songs about summer. Identify the artist that recorded these hits with summer in the title. If you're a child of the 80s, this is an easy one, I would think anyway. The Summer of '69 was a hit in 1985 for this rocker. Who sang it? Rod Stewart, Bryan Adams, Don Henley, or Bruce Springsteen? Who sang the hit Summer of '69? If you know, call us at 872-2801.
Are you having trouble with your legs, shin splints, ankle, or leg pain? Call Team Physical Therapy, 872-5111. We can do a walking or running analysis and also fit you with custom or over-the-counter orthotics. Call 872-5111. Let Team Physical Therapy help get you back into shape with our customized exercise plan for you. We are Team Physical Therapy. Team-driven, superior results. 872-5111.
This is Chip with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. As your insurance advisor, we will sit down with you and review your current coverage to be sure you have exactly what you need. We help handle the difficult issues like claims, adding equipment, or trading vehicles. We work with life, health, home, auto, farm, or commercial insurance. If you would like to review your current insurance, give us a call at 308-836-2201. Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency. Look for us under the big red awning.
And we have Holly on the line. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. It's good to hear your jolly, happy voice.
It's a nice, cool day, too.
Yeah, much better than yesterday, as our high yesterday was 100 degrees. So we're going to be in the mid-80s today, and we're going to probably need a jacket.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Here's Brent with your question.
All right, Holly, are you familiar with the song Summer of '69?
I sure am. Don Henley sang that song.
Oh, no, he did not.
What?
Holly, no, Don Henley didn't sing it.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Darn it.
Oh, no. I should ask Alexa.
Yeah. There you go. Well, if you've got her close by, you probably can. I'll let Dave.
No, I'm in the car.
I don't know. You want me to give her another chance?
Yeah,
All right.
We're going to give you a prize anyway.
Okay, Holly. Here's so we know it's not Don Henley. All right. The other choices are Rod Stewart. I know he didn't sing it.
No.
And then Bryan Adams.
Bryan Adams.
There you go.
Adams.
There you go.
I was thinking it was an eagle, and it wasn't.
No, that's
Bryan
right.
Adams wasn't an eagle, was he? Or was he?
What's that?
No,
Was
he was
Bryan
not.
Adams an eagle?
No.
He wasn't an eagle.
No.
I was thinking it was an eagle guy. You know how they all broke off? around
Well,
that
and there was
time?
several different members that were with the Eagles, and a lot of them came back, and some of them only played with the Eagles once, so I could understand how you'd get that confused.
Well, Don Henley had a song that was very popular with Summer
his
in
was
the
the Boys
title.
of
That
Summer.
was the Boys of
Boys
Summer.
of Summer,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be another question this week. So there you go.
Well-
People, I gave you the answer.
Yeah, way to go, Holly.
Thank you.
Hey, we've got a certificate that's going to get you a free personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut, so just swing on out and see us.
And I'm so glad about Billy. That was kind of scary when you didn't know what was going on, and now it's
Yeah.
just great.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We'll just hope.
Anyway.
We'll just hope for the best and getting back
Yeah.
home. Yep.
yeah, okay. Well,
Thanks,
have a good week, you guys.
You too,
Thanks
Holly.
for all your help the other night.
Well, thank you for putting it on.
Yeah. Bye.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
I know that Holly was kind of one of the instigators in that benefit for Tom Hilkemeyer. And if you missed the show last week following our participation in that on Thursday, one of the biggest burger fries that they've had, they sold, there was 430 plus hamburgers served, and everybody was real generous with their donations. I saw some $50 bills go in, so thank you so much. And $1 bills were just fine too, so that went really well to help Donna and Tom with their travels and extra expenses as Tom is taking some treatments for an illness as well. All right. I got to, you know what? On this show, I'm going to be the first to admit, because of the character I portray, I'm not really like this, but the person that I portray on the breakfast show is not very humble. I know that.
Oh, okay.
But trying to do baseball after so many years of not doing baseball, I apologize for my color. It's not very good, but I did enjoy working with you.
Well, I think you're being way too hard on yourself.
Oh.
I thought you were great and really enjoyed working with you. It's fun calling baseball.
It is. Well, it's fun. I tell you what's hard is being a baseball fan and avoiding getting lost in the game.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden I'm just a person watching the game, and then I realize, I've got a job to do here. I'm supposed to be helping Brent. I'm thinking, that third baseman should move a little bit over to the left there, that sort of thing. But I'll help you some more if you want me to. But I sure have enjoyed it, and it gives us a chance to watch the kids, and of course, our son is one of the coaches of the Legion teams, and so we haven't seen a lot of games just because we were gone in June, and so appreciate you allowing us to join you down there, and it was a lot of fun. I'm just not as good at it as I once was, and I wasn't very good at it then. So
well, again, I think you're being way too hard on yourself. I think you're pretty good at it, and the only thing I do have a complaint about, if there is a complaint, is we did have a couple of foul balls the last couple of days that were popped up kind of high. We are situated right up kind of next to the screen, just to the right of home plate, kind of down the first baseline just a little bit. And we had a couple of foul balls that got popped up and came a little close to where we were located. And it is always the job of the color guy to be prepared to protect the play-by-play guy if a foul ball comes in our direction. I think that's been a long, just kind of an understanding. And I'll be honest, when a couple of foul balls came our direction, I didn't feel very protected.
Well, let me just ask you a question. Has any of the color guys that's helped you over the years ever actually caught a foul ball?
No, I don't think so. I do remember the last time we would have been in Holdridge, which was a few years ago for an area tournament. Jeff Denson was helping me.
Right.
And we had to broadcast the game from the stands for one game. And so we were up there. A foul ball starts coming back toward us. Denson got up and ran. I'm serious. He got up and just moved out of the way. Didn't stand there and protect me at all.
Well, you know what? On Jeff's behalf, I didn't run because I could never see where the ball was. You put your head, you're behind that fence. You look straight up. If it isn't in your view, it's probably a good thing because I think it's going to hit you right in the head.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be coming straight down where we're sitting.
Correct. Yeah. Sometimes you just cover your head and hope for the best.
Well, what I should probably do, or what you should teach the other color guys to do, is lay on the equipment.
Yes.
Cover the equipment.
Yeah.
Don't worry about yourself. Cover that broadcast equipment, because otherwise, you're done dealing.
That could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't worry about the play-by-play guy. He's pretty durable.
Oh, that could be debatable.
All right. Well, are there still some Spirit softball games going on?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm on their Game Changer app. I don't see the games coming up, but yeah, they should be having a state tournament and things coming up soon. And yeah, I'm sure they have some games left to play yet. So
yeah, well, there's all of that going on. One of the things that they've really made improvements. I wanted to kind of mention this. If you haven't been by the Tyke Arnold softball field, boy, they've really got that looking good. And of course, they have the facilities up at Melham as well that they can use. I don't know if they use that for softball or not, but there's other parks in town. But boy, that Tyke Arnold field, I think most of the Spirit games are played there for the ladies, and so it's such a neat deal that they named it after Tyke. I had the privilege of playing on the field with and against Tyke and the Arnold boys over the years. That's a good name for the field. Let's just say that. Now, the state tournament is coming up towards the end of July. I think July 29th Broken Bow plays, right?
July 30th.
30th, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be quite a bit of ceremony around the state tournament. I know Jeff Denson's been working on that. The Palmer Lomax Legion Post history is going to be acknowledged, which is fascinating.
Yeah.
And Jeff's been working on that pretty hard, inviting some folks to come and throw out some pitches. And the Brown family, Paul Brown family, also has been invited to come. I don't know if they've heard back from the Brown family on who's coming for that to throw out a pitch or two. So there'll be some pretty cool history. I think, again, the research that Joan's been doing, and she did some for the event as well. I think the first games at Paul Brown were played in 1962 or 3, somewhere in there. And then it wasn't too long later that they named it the Paul Brown Field because the Brown family donated that property to be used for a ball field. So that's a little history. And there'll be some ceremonies around that during the state tournament, which will be kind of fun.
Yeah, that will be neat.
Some other things I think Jeff has up his sleeve as well. It's hard to say. I think he's going to pay for hot dogs for everybody the first night's what I heard, but I don't know if that's
really?
true.
Oh, wow.
That was on Skidder.
Be careful. There will be people showing up expecting a free hot dog now.
How's that go? The first 100 people? Oh, never mind. I don't want to go there. Check here. Make sure I didn't miss a text because we have not seen Steve from the grocery cart, and looks like maybe he's not going to make it in here this morning because it's getting towards the top of the hour.
Yeah. That's understandable. I mean, they're busy out there. It doesn't matter what time of the day I go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
It's busy.
Well, when it's not busy as far as people there, that's unusual, and that doesn't mean there's not anything going on in the store,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
get there early and unload trucks, and I know Steve gets a little short-handed during load out and stocking shelves and so forth. We completely understand. And coming off this past weekend, I'm sure they were very, very busy. But you know that they got their weekly specials each and every week that run all week long. And they also have the new checkout system, which I have not tried.
I've done it a couple of times. When you just, for me anyway, when you just have a couple of items, it works great. Really does.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people that'll have a full cart and still do
Just
the
do their own.
self-checkout. So, yeah.
I would probably give it a try the first time if there was nobody in the store.
Well, I got into, this is a true story. The very first time I tried it, I broke it.
Oh, boy.
Seriously.
Well,
Yeah, I went over. I don't know what I did, but it just the thing just shut down. So I had to go to a different one. I didn't break that one, but so I have to admit it took me a few times going back to feel comfortable. I'll try it again, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've broken one since.
Good. Well, you have that option now, and certainly that's good for everybody, because if you have a few items you can get through quickly, or if you want to do your own, you can do it. Otherwise, you go to the Friendly Checkers and go right through that way as
Yep.
well. And they're open 7 days a week out at the grocery cart for your convenience. And always remember, the front parking lot's almost always full. It just seems like when the doors are open, the store is busy. But there's plenty of parking on the west side of the store. Lots of parking over there, as a matter of fact. So pull on in, and you'll find a parking place there if you think it's too busy. And then once you get in the store, it's so roomy and the aisles are so wide that even when they're super busy, it's easy shopping. Other than that, you're going to run into somebody that you're going to be talking to for about 30 minutes or so, and then you go around the corner and there's another friend, another neighbor, and it's going to be another 30. Plan about 5 hours for shopping here in Custer County. That's the way it is in all the stores. News is next.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Women in the U.S. may not have to check in with their gynecologists anymore to get the okay for the pill. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Over-the-counter birth control? It's possible. A French drug company is asking federal regulators to approve the first birth control pill that women could buy without a doctor's prescription. That's common in many countries around the world.
A massive wildfire is threatening giant sequoias at Yosemite. Park engine captain Roy Freitas says firefighters are working in 90-plus degree heat.
Obviously, with the higher temperatures, that is going to increase the fire behavior and intensity of the fire.
Temps could soar into the triple digits in part of Texas and Louisiana today. Meteorologist Craig Allen with our affiliate WCBS.
Temperatures will be running close to 100 degrees, and the heat index, especially closer to the Gulf, will be up around 100 to 104, 105.
Texans being urged to cut back on power. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Here's a look at Nebraska news. Kearney played backdrop to the Nebraska Republican Party State Convention this past Saturday. The biggest news coming out of that convention was that the chairman of the Nebraska Republican Party, Dan Welch, is now out of party leadership. According to a tweet from the Nebraska Examiner, the resolution was called before a vote, and the final vote was 204 yes, 124 no, to remove Welch from office. Welch has been chair of the party since 2015. Since that vote, Sanford has reported several top officials in the party have resigned, including the executive director, Taylor Gage. The controversy wasn't limited to party leadership. Some delegates felt they were given the short end of the stick during Saturday's convention. 6 delegates were banned from the meeting for various reasons. One was barred because of allegedly showing support for a third-party candidate over a Republican one. That's Nebraska News.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
In Major League Baseball games of note Sunday night, it was the Red Sox rallying to beat the Yankees 11-6. Boston scored 3 runs in the 5th inning, 4 more in the 7th to get the victory. Dodgers defeat the Cubs 11-9 despite falling behind 5-0 after the top of the 1st inning. Dodgers, top team in the National League, have won 7 in a row. The Mets were shut out by the Marlins 2-0. New York's lead on Atlanta in the NL East race is down to a game and a half, with the Braves edging the Nationals 4-3 in 12 innings. Cardinals get by the Phillies 4-3. St. Louis moves 2.5 back in Milwaukee. In the NL Central race, the Brewers lost to the Pirates 8-6. Twins over the Rangers 6-5. Minnesota has a 4.5 game lead on Cleveland in the AL Central. The Guardians lost to the Royals 5-1. It was the Orioles and Mariners each extending their winning streaks to 8 straight. Orioles beat the Angels 9-5. Mariners over the Blue Jays 6-5. And in tennis, Novak Djokovic won the men's final at Wimbledon, beating Nick Kyrgios for his 4th straight Wimbledon title and 7th overall.
Here's your weatherology forecast. For today, a slight chance for an isolated shower or storm ending early on, otherwise becoming mostly sunny into the afternoon as high temperatures reach the mid-80s. We'll have our winds becoming breezy from the north and northwest. Then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 57. For Tuesday, lots of sunshine with upper 80s for highs, and then reaching the lower 90s on Wednesday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
Whether you love them or can't stand them, surprises are a part of life. Hi, I'm Janet Lawhorn.
And I'm Tim McCaslin.
Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, and we can help you get ready for whatever life throws at you, even the welcome surprises. As your needs change, we can change what you need to do to help you end up where you want to be. And while there is never a good time to experience unexpected costs, we can work together to help you make them feel a little less unexpected. Call us at 308-872-6849 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
64 degrees now and mostly cloudy here at Broken Bow. The winds are backing down from their earlier velocity out of the north right now at 5 to 10. When we got here this morning, the wind was still blowing pretty hard, 15 to 25 with gusts up to 30 in the 5 o'clock hour from maybe remnants of that storm last night. Barometric pressure zooming up to 30.11, so it's on an uptrend. Humidity at 85%. High yesterday was 100 with an overnight low of 65 as of 7 o'clock this morning. Sunset today at 9:13. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:16. And we picked up 92 hundredths precipitation overnight, bringing our total to 3 inches and 55 hundredths for the month of July, which is pretty good, considering we only received a little over 2 inches total for the month of June, which is kind of the opposite of what you'd think. Now, other folks in the listening area got more than that in June for sure. Some got less. It's just been real spotty this summer. And we're fortunate to have some rain in the gauge this morning, 92 hundredths. And again, 355 for the month here at the studios. And again, as you're driving today, you may run into some at least small branches on the ground from those 60-mile-per-hour winds last night. The good news, even during the storm reports last night, they weren't talking about the hard stuff. It was just the high winds. And they didn't really say too much about the heavy rain, just the high winds. But we certainly got the rain with that.
Yes.
And it was a summer rainstorm. Let's call it that. Do you have anything you wanted to bring up?
Well, I don't know. Do I?
Well, I just wanted to clear the air a little bit and just kind of verify to this area, to Nebraska, and to the country that you can have disagreements and still work together and get along. And we've been working together, both baseball and here.
Well, we're kind of an example of that.
And, you know, I'm still healing from our little confrontation on your front porch a week or so ago when I recommended or suggested that we put my duck collection, my yard ornament collection in your yard, and you blacked out and got crazy on me and punched me in the cheek.
Yeah, I don't recall any of this.
But we put that aside and are still working together, and I wish the country would do that. I don't know that you need to punch one another to start with, but we can still work together.
Okay.
And I still...
You have a Band-Aid on your cheek. Is there really something there that you're trying to cover up, or did you just put a Band-Aid on your cheek to make me think that I took a swing at you?
Well, do you think I would do that?
Yes.
Of course not. Of course there's something under there. There's a gash.
Okay. All right. I don't recall any of this.
I know.
I will say I really do not want your plastic duck yard collection in my yard. I will say that. I really don't.
They're
want
beautiful.
That. Well, I'm sure they are. Why don't they go up in your own yard?
Well, if you were a good neighbor, you'd understand. I'll have a better view of the ducks from my house to yours.
They're in my yard. Okay.
They're painted the wild natural colors. They have the eyes that follow you when you walk by.
Now, see, that I don't get. What do you mean the eyes that follow you when that makes me uncomfortable? I don't want things in my yard that make me feel as though I'm always being watched. I get that enough from just my neighbor across the street. I always feel like I'm being watched.
Well, haven't you ever noticed sometimes that they make these eyes in ornaments like that, or maybe even more so in pictures on the wall where there's a person there and you walk and no matter where you are in the room, it looks like they're looking at you?
Oh, okay.
You've noticed that? That's what these ducks do.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm very uncomfortable with that.
Well, they wouldn't be looking at you. They'd be looking across the street.
Oh.
I mean, unless you sit out on the porch, they might look at you.
Okay.
Or they might watch cars go by, but I don't think they'll bother you. They're just plastic.
Okay.
There's the mom and the dad, and then...
Yeah, how many... Did we ever talk about how many there are? I mean, how large is this family?
6 ducklings.
Six ducklings plus the mom and dad?
Yeah.
So there would be 8 things in my yard.
Yeah, but the ducklings aren't very big, and they follow in a straight line, so it'd be easy to mow around them.
How far do you space them out?
Well, the ducklings stay pretty close together as a family. Haven't you ever seen ducks follow their mom and dad?
Well, yes. Yeah. It's just that I'm sure you would be the one that would come over and put them in the yard. So I'm just curious how far would you separate them out? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, would you take up the entire front yard with them, or just put them really close together?
Well, we had this discussion.
Oh, we did?
Before you blacked out with temper tantrum. We talked about this whole thing.
I don't recall that.
Oh, man, wait a minute. That's a little tender yet.
Brother.
It hurts. Which would you rather
What?
do with me? Work with me and have me butcher a ball game, or would you rather have me work with you here?
Let me get a coin and flip it. I don't know. I enjoy having you work with me for a baseball game. You're being way too hard on yourself.
Oh,
You're being way too hard on yourself. I mean,
this one game I know, I help coach Legion baseball, but I'm just not getting it explained verbally like I want to.
I thought you were explaining it fine.
No, I don't know. I don't want to listen to it back. Let me just put it that way. I mean, you do a great job. You're a sports guy, and you just always have a flow going. I'm going, well, that was a nice play. That could have been bad, but it turned out good. I mean, I gotta get more explanation if I'm going to try to do color.
Yeah, you're being way too hard on yourself, Dave.
I'm not even paying myself. I'm not paying myself.
I'm putting you on the talent sheet. I'm going to put your name down. I guess whether or not you get paid is up to you.
I think I should deduct money from my salary.
Oh.
Yeah, I should deduct.
Yeah, just add it to mine.
I knew you'd say that. Oh, capitalism. It's such an ugly thing.
It can be.
Hey, you know what would really go good right now? And I think
What's that?
I think they're closed today, but sometime we should just hop in the car for the breakfast show when we don't have a busy schedule and go over to Brewbaker's and have ourselves a cup of coffee.
I'm for that.
And we might see Brad and some of the Arnoldites who are so much fun.
Might see my mother-in-law. I think she's one of their regular customers.
And she's really nice, and I think she likes me quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah, a lot like your mom.
Yeah, I'll probably get a text from Mom here in a few minutes. Yes, I love David. Brewbaker's Coffee House and Gifts. You'll find them in Arnold, Nebraska. They are open Tuesday through Friday, so not open today, but open Tuesday through Friday, 8 to 5. Open on Saturday from 9 until 3. Coffee with a friend is always a good idea.
It is a good idea.
And they've got delicious coffee drinks, delicious cold drinks, too, during this summer season. Baked treats are available any time of the day. They've got breakfast burritos. They're great to grab to curb your hunger. They have a specialty one created daily. And they also have some great things in the gift department as well to check out. So visit them at Brewbaker's Coffee House and Gifts. Again, they're in Arnold, Nebraska. Tuesday through Friday is when they're open, 8 to 5. Open on Saturday from 9 to 3.
As we were driving down the highway last night and the wind was pushing the cars around and the rain was making the visibility almost zero, and you felt like you were hydroplaning sometimes, you wondered, do I have enough insurance on my automobile?
Yeah.
Do I have the coverage I need? Don't wait until you're in a storm to find out whether you have your property covered properly. It is an important thing to do. It doesn't take that long, and Universal Insurance Agency would love to help.
That's right. It's important, of course, to insure your home, your family, and your possessions. But if you're in business, very important to insure your business. Ask Universal Insurance in Broken Bow about getting the right coverage. They have a wide knowledge base and catalog of information to help your business. From HR to OSHA availability to other features that will play a key role in your business success on the insurance side. Talk to Universal in Broken Bow today. Call 872-6438, or you can visit them at 940 South E Street.
We'll be right back, but first, these important messages.
For those 62 years of age and for those that are handicapped or disabled regardless of their age, the Grand Generation Manor in Callaway has affordable housing available. An equal housing opportunity provider and employer. They're located at 200 South Grand Avenue in Callaway. The Grand Generation Manor.
Do you owe the IRS $8,000 or more? Are you a few years behind on your filing? Are you going through an audit and have no idea what to do? You need an ally, fast. Ally's Tax Relief Negotiators can protect you from all IRS collections, but have you called them today? Their team of enrolled agents, tax attorneys, and CPAs are your allies to fix all your tax problems. Take the first step to getting the IRS off your back. Call Allies Tax Relief today for a free consultation. 800-957-0325. Allies Tax Relief. 800-957-0325.
I was 53, divorced, and ready to get back out there. I was unsure about dating sites, but I signed up for Silver Singles and quickly met Lily.
Mark and Lily rediscovered the romance they deserve on Silver Singles, the secure dating site for 50-plus singles who know what they want.
Lily's a lover of the great outdoors, like me, and we instantly connected over it.
If you're like Mark and want to rediscover that feeling, sign up today at silversingles.com/love. That's silversingles.com/love.
Aero Aviation, let us take control.
Remember the time you used to spend fighting weeds and bugs? Now you can spend that time elsewhere because aerial application is your best advantage against these problems. Let Aero Aviation take control.
When you need a helping hand to get the most from your land, Aero Aviation, let us take control.
For over 50 years, Aero Aviation has served the area. Contact Casey for your aerial application today.
There's a difference between treating the pain and treating the problem. At Pearson Physical Therapy, we strive to not only reduce your pain, but actually treat the underlying cause so that you remain pain-free, even after you finish physical therapy. If you're frustrated by pain that keeps coming back, Pearson Physical Therapy can give you the tools that will keep you moving pain-free. Call Pearson's in Broken Bow at 308-872-5800 or check us out on the web at pearsonpt.com. Get the treatment you need and the care you deserve at Pearson Physical Therapy.
The Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did we wake you up?
Nebraska's favorite way to start the day on KCNI KBBN.
8:17 is the time. Well, so I'm just curious. Am I going to be able to go with you to the ball game today? Do you want me to go?
Absolutely.
I can.
Yeah. You know what? You can even ride along. If I don't know, can we?
Kalaka?
Can we make it all the way to Holdridge and back together?
Well, that's why I brought my own car the last.
Well, I noticed that.
Because
I knew Saturday you were at the parade.
Yeah.
In Litchfield, but yesterday I noticed that you drove by yourself, and I didn't really know what that meant. I was kind of watching my phone during the day. Told Shelley, I said, "Well, Dave just told me he's going to the game, and he maybe he wants to ride together." And I kept watching my phone and nothing. So I'm like, "Well, I guess I'll take off, go by myself."
I felt like if we kept it professional, and just arrived there and worked together. For the ball game, there would be no confrontations, because I just was afraid I would accidentally mention the word duck, and then we go south.
I'd bruise your other cheek.
Yeah, I'll have two Band-Aids.
I'd cut you on the other cheek.
Well, actually, I thought yesterday before we were going to do the ball games, I was going to come out here and work on a studio and do some things.
Yeah.
And then I was going to mow, and then it was 100 degrees. And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. But if I'm going to do the ball game, I'm going to try to take a nap.
Yeah,
and
I wish I would have done that yesterday.
And so I didn't know for sure what time we'd get started, and I know you like to get down there earlier. But
yes, I do.
The gas, the way that it is, it would make sense that we would maybe ride together.
Yeah. That's all right. We both took the station car.
Yeah, it's company gas. So, but I'd love to go down.
Yeah, if you want to go back today, that'd be great. I would love to have your help.
I want to either get much worse and quit or get better. But I tell you what, the most important thing here is for the Broken Bow juniors to stay focused. And I know if Billy was on Party Line today, he would say, "You guys don't let up. Don't take this opponent, lightly just because you've beaten me before. Because in baseball, anything can happen. And with these pitching situations and the counts and so forth that you've highlighted a lot of, you just never know what's going to happen depending on how what the strike zone is and what the pitching is like. Are the guys on? Are they struggling? Anything can happen in baseball. So I'm sure Billy would say, you guys stay focused."
Yes, that would be his message. I guarantee you. And if he's able, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Billy's on the phone before the game giving his pep talk.
Oh, I bet
he might be.
He might be. He's talking to everybody, the nurses and so forth. And I would say this, talking about Billy, I know they've had a lot of requests for people to visit, and I think you'll need to check with the family to update as to if they'll allow visitors, because you sure want to have the family have first opportunity to visit. And, you know, after a surgery, there's a kind of a period of time where people do real good, and then they kind of get into a tireder zone after that surgery kind of takes its effect. So I think you don't want to be careful about too much visitation, but hopefully as time goes along, everybody can visit if they want to, and hopefully it'll be not too long before Billy gets closer to home as well. So,
yeah.
Let's see here. Nebraska Land Hearing here in Broken Bow, Nebraska. Now, we are so fortunate to have a hearing specialist right here in central Nebraska in Custer County, one that has years and years of experience.
Yes, her name would be Roxanne, a board-certified hearing instrument specialist with over 30 years of experience right here in Broken Bow. Has some really great specials going on for the month, great specials for just buying local. So to find out about them, give her a call at 308-384-3852. That's 308-384-3852. No need to travel outside of this area because Roxanne sells the top technology available in the world right here in Broken Bow. And when you deal with Roxanne, you're getting that great, good local service for follow-up care. So give her a call today and get your appointment set. 308-384-3852, the Nebraska Land Hearing Center.
More after these words.
Summer is finally here. Burning Bank can help with your summer travel and fun with our new My Card feature on our Burning Bank app. Are you budgeting for your summer activities? Easily track your recent debit card transactions. Are you traveling for vacation? Simply plug in your destinations to make spending money wherever you are easy and convenient. Misplaced your debit card? Shut your card off with the flip of a switch. No matter where the summer takes you, Burning Bank is always here. Download our Burning Bank app today and check out the My Card feature. Burning Bank. Build, grow, thrive. Member FDIC.
8:23. All right, we've kind of got baseball on our minds here this morning, and I mentioned to you that we've done some research on minor league baseball fields in Nebraska. I hope you find this interesting. I hope the listeners out there do. Most folks around here that have been around a while remember all these little communities that had schools, communities within this area, Burr Oak, Buckeye, Rhino, all these different places were little communities. They had their school, a lot of them had the church there back in the day, and a lot of times behind the school was a baseball field. And so baseball was huge. It's something that everybody could play, didn't need a huge amount of equipment for it. A lot of, I think, baseball games were played, not everybody had a glove. And so it was you know, something that the communities played one another, and sometimes it was pretty serious between these different communities out there. And then baseball in its, I'm not going to say its heyday, but when Nebraska and the Midwest was the area where these pro teams had farm clubs, I believe at one time there was 22 different minor league fields at one time or another in Nebraska.
Wow.
Isn't that something? And I was just looking at Holdridge, you know, because I knew Bob Bowles had always told me that was a minor league field. And so on the way home the other night after the game, Jones says, well, I think Bob meant Hastings. Hastings definitely was a pro field, and now I think the college plays on Duncan Field as well, right? And that's a big story that Bob told where he hit the wall of Duncan Field when he was playing. And Bob played probably in the late 60s for Holdridge, for Coach Gannon. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And we got to talking, and yes, Holdridge was a minor league field from 56 to 59. And pretty cool story. they wanted to encourage shopping on Saturday nights. It was a big shopping night in Holdridge. The community of Holdridge didn't have enough electricity or the structure to have the ball field on at the same time they had all the lights on Saturday night for shopping. So they were one of the fields that had day games on Saturdays because they couldn't support the electricity for both. And it was at the fairgrounds at the location that we were at everybody was at for this tournament. And Bob always said that's why your foul lines are, your foul areas are really wide. And also, it was one of the few fields that still was a dirt infield, 56 through 59. And in July of the first year that they had the minor league White Sox there, the grandstands, the bleachers burned down in July, and they'd played a few games. So the Fair Board asked the school if they could borrow their bleachers for the summer, and they moved the bleachers in and then later built more permanent bleachers there. And the other thing that I thought was amazing is Holdridge at that time was around 4,000 people, 4,500 people. And of all the different minor league fields that were going at that time, and a lot of them were doing that late 50s and farm clubs for the Giants and all sorts of different teams, had the third best attendance, and they were competing with the Grand Islands and Kearneys and Lincolns. I think the first game they had 700 people at the ball game, which they were disappointed, and they had sold 670 season tickets to the White Sox minor league games. And they said they were raucous crowds, and people, it was a big social event to go to the baseball game. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
That is very cool.
And that's just Holdridge. And there was, let me see if I can pull this up real quick, if I can work my phone here. Oh, it went away. Hold on here. Sorry. There they are. Small type too, so I apologize. Here's the towns that had minor league teams. Auburn.
Okay.
A lot of the towns had minor league teams in the early 1900s and then again towards the late 50s. So Auburn had their minor league team for 3 years, 1910 to 1913. Beatrice, back in 1912, it was the Mink League. And then they also had minor league through the mid-1900s through to about 1938, 1913 to 1938. Beatrice, 1939, 1 year. Columbus, 1910 to 1915. Fairbury, same kind of thing. They started in the early 1900s. Falls City, Fremont had a minor league ball field in the early 1900s. Grand Island, all the way through the 1900s, off and on, and then that 56 to 59 period where the pro teams were really using all the Nebraska fields. Hastings was one of the very first ones. Clear back in 1887, they had a professional team, and then in the early 1900s, the mid-1900s, and then again in 56 to 59. Holdridge, 56 to 59, and Humboldt, I mentioned to you, 1911 to 1913. Kearney, Lexington had a field. Lincoln, McCook, Nebraska City, Norfolk, North Platte, Omaha, Red Cloud, 1 year, 1910. Seward, Superior, and York all had minor league ball fields during those time periods.
Wow.
And I don't have the information in front of me, but Holdridge's time span, they had a couple of players that went up to the bigs for a short period of time, and then they had one player, I'll look it up a little later if you want me to, who played for the New York Giants, moved up to the New York Giants, and then later the San Francisco Giants, and played until 1972.
Man.
So they had a player that made the bigs and played for quite a while in the big leagues out of Holdridge, Nebraska. I thought that was pretty cool. But can't you imagine people huddled around that ball field watching those semi-pros play?
Absolutely.
Minor league guys Class D, they called it. And guys would move up for 11 days in the bigs and come back to Holdridge, or to Lexington or Humboldt. Pretty cool.
That is very neat history.
And there will be some neat history for the Paul Brown Field, I think, that we'll be hearing about during the state tournament at the end of July. I think a lot of people who've been around for a while will remember a ball field east of BD in that land area there. I think there was a ball field out there before they built the Paul Brown Field where it's located now. And then they played some softball on that field, because I think it was a dirt field as well. Then they put off fireworks when I was a kid at that ball field east of BD.
Yeah.
That's where you went to see the fireworks and get into the greased pig contest.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You ever been to one of those?
No, I've never. I mean, I've seen some, but I've never personally participated in a greased pig contest. I don't know if I ever want to be honest with you. I don't know.
It's not so much the grease.
They're fun to watch, though.
Yeah. It's the dirt mixed with the grease.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad. So, yeah. Kind of that.
Were you in the greased pig contest?
I think I did one time.
Yeah?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it would have been better just to, have the pig ungreased. Wouldn't have been such a mess.
Now, the one I remember seeing in Loop City way back in the day was, it was in the mud. The greased pig contest was, it was sloppy.
Oh, yeah.
And so watching those people, number one, just trying to stand up in the mud, and then trying to get a hold of a greased pig on top of it.
Oh, boy.
That was quite a scene. I can still remember that.
You could go to Velma and have her make a statement on your garment, or a garment you buy from her. I was in a greased pig contest in 19 whatever, or
there
2000 or 2020. Well, I'm self-conscious now on, is it 2010 or is it 2010?
See, yes, and this is all because of Brad Bell.
It's his fault.
I know. Brad Bell was giving me a hard time the other day when we were at Tom Hilkemeyer's Burger Bash benefit, and he was giving me a hard time for saying 2022. Should be 2022, Brad thought. So I'm with you. Now when I get ready to say the year, it's like I'm self-conscious. I don't know what to say. Is it 2022 or is it 2022?
Well, who thinks about that sort of thing anyway, besides Brad Bell?
I don't know. I do now. That's the problem.
He's got you bugged. Well, you know what? If you put it on your shirt, then people can interpret it however they want to.
There you go. Yes, and they can do that for you at Circle V Stitch and Post. If you need something that is personalized, they can really do a special job for you at Circle V Stitch and Post. Velma with her quality custom embroidery service. If you're looking for a special personalized gift, maybe you're being invited to a wedding coming up, a baby shower, you have someone with a special anniversary coming up, she can do all kinds of things for you. Maybe you want to put together some shirts and hats to showcase your business and advertise while you're out and about. Call Circle V Stitch and Post to get your creation started today. The number to call is 872-6173. 872-6173 for Circle V Stitch and Post, located just north of Broken Bow, out on Paulson Road.
Saw Jeanette Denson last night and Dave.
Yeah.
The ball game, and I know they're gearing up for the tractor ride. Custer Care Center's fundraiser they've been doing for a number of years now. This time around, they're going to be, I think, in southern Custer County. Is that correct?
Yeah, the ride this year is going to start in Oconto. It is the 9th annual Custer County Tractor Ride. This is a benefit and a fundraiser for the Custer Care Center and their transportation program, which has, just really done amazing things when you think about the way that thing has developed over the years as they take people to different doctor's appointments and such. And so they will have their 9th annual Custer County Tractor Ride coming up on Friday, July 22nd. Breakfast and sign-in will start at 7 a.m. at the ball field in Oconto on that day. Join them with your antique tractor restored or field ready. Preferred tractors at least 20 years old to travel approximately 55 miles for a 10-mile-an-hour ride throughout southern Custer County. They'll have breakfast, a morning break, lunch, an afternoon break, and they will arrive back to the O'Connell Ball Field at around 4:30 that afternoon. So get signed up now by contacting the Custer Care Center in Broken Bow. Again, the ride is scheduled for July 22nd, that Friday.
8:36. We'll be right back following these words.
At the Callaway Good Life Center, their hometown facility offers the security and comfort of a small town with the advantages of city living. They offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy for their residents. Visit CallawayGoodLife.com for more information. AeroSeed is your Gallagher Power Fence headquarters. They keep a large inventory of energizers, insulators, wire posts, and testers on hand because when you need fencing supplies, you need them now. And if you're looking to build a new fence, Gallagher Power Fence is a less expensive option than traditional post and barbed wire. If you're having trouble with your Gallagher fencer, bring it to AeroSeed and it can usually get fixed in-house. From building a new fence to putting up some temporary fencing, Gallagher Power Fence is the dependable and affordable way to contain your most valuable resources.
8:37. Did get a text saying, how much rain did we get? Well, here at the studios, we got 92 hundredths last night, if you're just tuning in. And that's going to vary greatly, I do believe, depending on what kind of gauge you had and how much it can catch sideways rain and how much rain came in your particular area. I noticed the airport didn't get near what we reported unless they've updated their report. And they have an electronic sort of a collector that gives the amount pretty much within an hour of when it rains. So I don't think they're going to update it again, but I've been wrong before, like walking over and talking to you about putting ducks in your yard. That was a mistake. How about talking Central Nebraska Community Action Partnership?
Yes, they have a job opportunity, folks. They're looking for an infant toddler teacher in Broken Bow. It is a full-time position, good starting wage, great benefits. Looking for someone with a Child Development Associate Certificate, would prefer someone with an associate's or bachelor's degree in early childhood education. Would love someone with previous experience working with infants up to 3 years old and their families. Some of the duties would include primary care and lesson planning for infants and toddlers, and conducting parent meetings and complete various reports. For more information, call CNCAP at 308-745-0780. The extension would be 0. Or you can apply online by going to their website, which is centralnebraskacap.com.
All right, thank you, Brent.
You're welcome, Dave.
I would like at this time to open up the phone lines. 872-2801. I'd like to take a request for a country song, and I would like it to be we do a lot of old country songs, but maybe something from the 1990s on up.
Oh.
Would that work?
Okay.
The phone number is 872-2801. If you'll call in, go on the air with me and Brent, and tell us what song you'd like to hear from the 1990s through today. We'll play it for you.
That's nice of you.
In the meantime, I'd like you, if you wouldn't mind,
yes,
to talk about Rustic and Red in Cozad.
Okay, I can do that. Normally when we talk about Rustic and Red, we're talking about their third Thursday celebration, but I don't think that's until next week. But they have something very special coming up before that. They're going to be involved in the Summerfest Sidewalk Sale. It'll be at Rustic and Red in Cozad, and this is coming up on Saturday, this Saturday, July 16th. They'll be open from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. They'll have discounts up to 75% off. They're taking 20% off store-wide. Some exclusions apply. They're going to have the coffee tree truck there as well. So you'll find them at Rustic and Red in Cozad. This week they also have Christmas in July going on in the loft, where all of their Christmas items are 70% off. So take advantage of the Summerfest Sidewalk Sale at Rustic and Red in Cozad. It's happening Saturday from 9 until 5.
Thank you, Brent. If you're celebrating a birthday today, we don't have a lot of celebrity birthdays, but if you're celebrating a birthday, you're celebrating with Richie Sambora, 63, the guitarist for Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
And he left the band in 2013 to focus on his family. Not a bad idea. He's a heck of a player. He really is.
Who was he married to? Was he married to Heather Locklear, or am I dreaming?
Doesn't say here, so I can't answer that question.
Okay.
So I'm not I don't have the knowledge you have for celebrities, movies, and things like that.
Okay. I might have to Google that. Now I'm curious.
Justin Chambers is 52 today.
Who's that?
He played Dr. Alex Karev on Grey's Anatomy for 15 years.
Oh.
He's currently playing Marlon Brando on the streaming series The Offer. Doesn't mean anything to me. Does it to you?
You know what? I've never seen Grey's Anatomy. Have you? Have you ever watched an episode?
Years ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
I never got into it.
My wife watched it, and so I caught a few episodes. Are you finding anything there?
Yeah, I just got Google up, Dave.
Oh, I hear you. Tell you what, I've got a little Chris Stapleton for you while Brent does a little Googling here on The Breakfast Show.
Make sure you have enough cash to get me snacks. We can stop by any of the 8 ATMs that NSB is located across Custer County. They're in gas stations, grocery stores, and they even have a trailer-friendly drive-up.
How do you know all of this?
Well, Dad, you do work for Nebraska State Bank, and I do listen.
You listen to some things.
Nebraska State Bank, member FDIC.
It is 8:45, and I'm glad we have a guest in the studio now for lots of reasons. First of all, we're going to learn a lot about Runza. And second of all, I kind of like this guy. And then third, it will hopefully cease and desist our conversation about ducks in your yard.
I personally believe that's been a one-sided conversation, if you want my opinion. I don't want your plastic ducks in my yard. I just don't.
Brian, you see this Band-Aid I have on my cheek?
Here we go.
I do.
Went over to discuss with my neighbor and my friend.
I don't recall any of this. I just want you to know. I do not recall any of this that he is about to say.
I'm learning how some of this goes, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a beautiful plastic duck collection, male and female, mom and dad, and 6 ducklings that look really good in the yard, and I thought Brent would want to, you know, if I lent them to him, he could enjoy them, and we could too looking across the street. He got kind of violent about it. I don't understand it.
Good-looking family of ducks, and not appreciative.
No, he didn't appreciate it at all. He doesn't even remember how mad he got. He doesn't even remember the conversation.
Just seen red and lost it.
And the proof is on my, as you can see, I have a Band-Aid on.
Gotcha.
But
were you even in the county when this happened?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't recall any of this. I don't know.
Brian Palmer is here from Runza, and you guys have been crazy busy. I know that makes you happy because people are enjoying good food, and that's what you're there for. But it's been crazy, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It is the summer. You know, schedules are a little bit wonky, and people have time to eat and time to do things, spend time with their kids, and they come through at all hours that we're open, and we're happy to serve everybody. So, but yeah, it's been a little wild here of late.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, as you said, there has been festivals every weekend, and softball and baseball, and the list goes on and on. Swim meets and all sorts of things that bring people to town. Softball tournaments, and they come to you guys.
Well, and we're glad they do, but we know July is even busier than June.
Yeah.
We've got state baseball coming up here in town, and of course the Custer County Fair, and we'll be all hands on deck. We got to thank goodness for our great kids that we have. We've got a good group of high school kids, and we're sad to lose their hours come the middle of August, but boy, they sure are great help, and couldn't do it without them, as well as the rest of our staff.
Sure.
But just a great team all the way around, and we get it done. We always like to do it faster, and we sure try our hardest. You won't come in there and see us sitting around very often, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think you will either. I think Joyce was working yesterday and served what we picked up, and she had a smile on her face, but boy, we didn't have time to chat.
Nope, not on them Sunday dinners.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. We love the Runza quality, I think, is what people come to you for, and the friendly service.
I agree. It's fast food, but it's still got a little bit of a feel like small town Sunday diner too. When you come in and sit down with family and visit, and it's a clean, friendly, warm atmosphere. So we're glad people feel that way and come see us all the time.
And of course, I think people appreciate that it's fresh.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think we've got as far as faster food services, I think we've got the corner on the market there for sure.
Yeah.
A little biased, obviously, but great menu selection, fresh made. It's the right way, in my opinion.
Well, people around here love their beef, and they like the fact that it's not frozen before it's fried.
Yeah, it's not. It comes to us, and we get a truck we get 2 trucks a week, and we'll bring in 12 to 18 20-pound cases of meat that comes straight from the pack, and we patty the burgers right on hand, and that doesn't always give you that perfect circle disc you might see some places. I say every patty's unique, every Runza is unique. It's all made by hand. It'd be no different than in your kitchen. I know, I'm sure you're both grill connoisseurs, so
Brett might be. I'm not so good.
Yeah, burgers, they look different when you patty them by hand.
Absolutely.
But they taste better too.
Yeah, we don't care what they look like so much as what they taste.
No.
And then all the other options. Of course, the Runza, the dough is made fresh every day, right?
Every day, yep.
And then, of course, you have I've been stuck on the smothered chicken sandwich here.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's very good.
Yeah, that's kind of a hidden menu item. You know, we this month we're actually featuring the French onion burger, and had a couple stop in the other day, and the gentleman ordered his food, and he looked up and he seen the French onion poster up there on the wall, and he goes, "Oh, the French onion burger is back. Can I change that?" And I says, "Absolutely." And I think what some people don't know is that you know, we've got our menu boards up there, but any featured item we've had in the past, if we have the ingredients on hand, we'll make it at any time. You know, the Southwest Runza is something that has been a featured Runza at times, but we have all the ingredients, so we can make it at any time. Just because it's not on the board, don't be afraid to ask if we can put it together. You know, some of those items like the Philly cheesesteak Runza or the Reuben Runza, where, you know, we need sauerkraut or we need corned beef or we need the Philly cheesesteak. We don't keep that on hand all the time, but I'd say 80 to 90% of our specialty menu items that come and go throughout the months, we can still make them all the time.
Yeah. Boy, you guys still have the root beer floats?
We do make some root beer floats. Yep.
Yeah.
Not very many, but we've got the capability. You know, we've got our shake and ice cream machine, and we go through a lot of desserts this time of year too. We're a pretty popular snack place to stop in the middle of the afternoon after the pool or whenever.
I like to stop and pick up a couple cups of ice cream, and when I go up to see my mom, because we both like ice cream, and it's just a nice little treat. And if you order it and you have it in a cup, you can get up there before anything melts. But what is it about your ice cream that it's?
Well, Dave,
it's so good.
I could tell you,
but it's a secret.
You wouldn't like the consequences afterwards.
Oh gosh!
Yikes!
Well, let's leave that alone then. No, but I think it is a step up. I mean, the ice cream. You know, you can get ice cream that's okay, and then you can get ice cream that actually has some flavor or, you know, some substance to it.
You know, and again, I go back to the way Runza does their thing, their process of all their food preparation, and Kevin and Joyce follow those things to a T and even more, as well as the rest of the staff. You know, our ice cream and shake machines are cleaned and drained every night and sanitized, and fresh ice cream mix comes back in the next day. And I don't know how other places do it, but I'm telling you, when that place is closed up at the end of the night, you would eat off the floor. You know, everything is clean, sanitized, and we start out with fresh product the next day.
Yeah.
So
it works. It works.
It does.
How about? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The dessert. Speaking of dessert items, I mean, you guys ever try the ice cream sandwiches at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a seasonal treat. We have those from April through October. So when we say goodbye to those, we say hello to soup and cinnamon rolls. But yeah, they fly off the shelf pretty good as well.
Yeah. Well, what people like about those, I think, is that you can let them, you can eat them frozen right out of the package, or you can let them sit a little while and kind of eat them like you like them.
I gotta let them sit a little while. Yeah. I get it. When I get it with my meal, so it kind of sit while I'm eating my meal, and then it's the right softness for me afterwards.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, and you mentioned the great staff you have, and then of course school starting before we know it. I'm sure you're still looking for some good help.
Yeah, we've brought on 3-4 new employees here in the last month, and just really happy with their progress in a short amount of time, and want to welcome them to the team. I think they're all having a little bit of fun and getting some work done along the way. But yeah, we would I think it'll be the case as long as I'm there, which is hopefully forever. You know, we'll never turn down the opportunity to interview good candidates. We're always looking.
All right.
So, and we'll always find the right fit for the right people.
All right. Do you have any questions there, Brent? I want to be sure and give you every opportunity since we're trying to get along.
Thanks, Dave. No, I don't think so. I mean, I was kind of curious. Do you have any idea how much ice cream you'll go through in a summer?
Ice cream starts out in 1 gallon jugs of milk, essentially, and then go into the machine. I want to say that our milkman stops twice a week and probably brings us 40 to 50 gallons
each trip
of vanilla ice cream mix in a week's time.
Oh, wow.
Of just vanilla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, you guys can do the math if you want. But
yeah.
That's.
Well, I know you sell a lot of it, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Good anytime. And not that we're trying to rush things, but the cinnamon rolls and chili doesn't sound all that bad. Actually, it's so good. The chili itself, when you have it, is so. I guess to have something that comes from a restaurant that tastes homemade every day, it's amazing.
It is homemade every day.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we make homemade batches of chili all the time. It's a real thing. You do it the same way right in your kitchen, just on a smaller scale, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
We give away every Wednesday on the show when we play the game a certificate for a pig in a blanket.
Yep.
Not every Runza does the pig in a blanket, do they?
No.
Or, okay.
I think of the 85 or 86 Runzas, it's us. And maybe one other, but I'd have to research that a little bit.
But it has been really popular for you, right, on Wednesdays?
Absolutely. Yep, it sure has been. It's a pretty popular menu item. You know, we have the sign up there all the time, Wednesday special, and I would say on average we get about 4 to 5 orders every day for the pig in the blanket. Sorry, it's just a Wednesday special. And but popular item, and pretty hearty hot dog in a
oh, it's good.
Pretty hearty pig in a blanket, for sure. A bunch of different sauces to dip in, and that's the nice thing about, we've got a variety of dipping sauces to choose from. My go-to is the Southwest Ranch. And the other thing that I try to encourage people to try more often, I don't know where you guys sit on the onion ring situation, but our onion rings are breaded in shop every day. And then we have the French onion dip. Have you ever tried that before?
I've never tried. I mean, I've had ranch. I dip them in ranch all the time, but I don't think I've ever done the French onion.
Might be time to step out the comfort zone just a little bit. That French onion dip is really good. Yeah.
Well, I still say one of the greatest things that Runza ever came up with was frings.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Combine the fries with the onion rings.
Yep.
Fabulous.
We get first-timers in the state of Nebraska. They stop at our Runza and, would you like fries, rings, or frings? And they give you that cockeyed, confused dog look. Frings? Well, if you love our French fry and you like an onion ring, let's put them together for you. Yeah, pretty popular menu item there.
Is there anything you wanted to highlight that we haven't talked about today?
I don't think so. I would like to hear your take on the ducks. I mean,
that Dave wants to put in my yard?
Yeah.
No, I don't want them. I just don't want them.
And are we going to talk about the assault charges, or how did that come about?
Now wait a minute. Now see, I have absolutely no recollection of what he's talking about at all.
What's your name?
The only evidence that he has is some little Band-Aid on his cheek.
Yeah. Well, and I've been living in this community for just a little over a year now, and it's your guys' job to do research and figure out who you're talking to and what you're doing. The first thing I thought when I seen this Band-Aid is that Dave must be left-handed.
Oh.
Is that true or not?
No, I'm right-handed.
You are.
Yeah.
Because I did hear a story here a while back about Dave shooting a 50 caliber rifle.
Oh, yes.
And that it almost looked like maybe where a scope would catch a guy if he was left-handed shooter, but no.
Yeah. I hate small towns because of that reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the small towns, but that one particular part about small towns, that actually was
you did get the top of the eye.
In the eyebrow.
Then you were looking down the scope.
Did you have
to
have stitches for that?
I should have, but I didn't.
Okay.
I heard there's video somewhere.
I think there is. Yeah.
Where do I find that at?
Talk to John down at Gun Sense.
Okay.
He might have it. I'm sorry you're out of time.
Thank you, Brian, for turning that conversation around and making it about Dave instead of me. Bless you.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
We enjoy your company. We enjoy Runza. There's no better people, and I know you've mentioned that before on the air, than the Richardsons to visit with and I imagine work for.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So thanks a lot.
Yes, thank you, guys.
We'll take a timeout with these words on The Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much to everyone who shopped with us at Bo Bootery during Crazy Days. We had so much fun. If you happen to miss our sales, don't worry. We have summer sandals and flip-flops still in stock. Plus, you can save 30% off of them this week. Summer's far from over. Prepare your feet for more summer heat with 30% off sandals and flip-flops right now at Bo Bootery on the square in Broken Bow.
Ansley Lumber and Supply is locally owned and operated and proud to be your full-service lumber yard. From premium lumber and top-quality building materials to paint, tools, and ag supplies. When you drop by Ansley Lumber, their crew is prepared to help you with your project. From the materials for building a house to the accessories and pieces needed to make it a home. Ansley Lumber and Supply, Main Street, Ansley, or call 308-935-1815.
You are listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Go, go, go! On KCNI, KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska.
CBS News Brief. Firefighters are trying to save the sequoias in Yosemite as they work the flames of a fast-moving wildfire amid hot, dry conditions in the west. Fire information spokesperson Nancy Philippe.
It's some of the oldest trees that there are. There's trees that are 2,000 years old. They're massive giants when you stand next to them.
A French drug maker is asking the FDA for permission to sell its birth control pills directly to women over the counter. Kelly Blanchard with IBIS Reproductive Health.
Up to 30% of people who are trying to access their contraception by getting a prescription face barriers.
Steve Bannon has agreed to answer questions from lawmakers investigating the January 6th attack after first refusing. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
He's almost on the eve of trial, and this is an effort by him clearly to avoid going through that trial and being convicted.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Ralph Irvin.
The Pittsburgh Steelers' home stadium getting a new name, as Heinz will no longer be on the structure. Gone is Heinz Field. Instead, it will be known as Acrisure Stadium due to a partnership with the Michigan-based insurance company of the same name. Acrisure also the naming rights holder of an arena in Palm Springs, California. The International Olympic Committee will meet in December and discuss whether to make flag football an Olympic sport. Could be a part of the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. The NFL behind the lobbying effort leading to that inclusion. Football was last an Olympic sport in 1932. And that was in Los Angeles. On the Diamond Sunday, the Boston Red Sox with an 11-6 win over the New York Yankees. The Dodgers with a big comeback as they win their 7th straight, beating the Cubs 11-9. Get all the scores at foxsports.com.
Here's your weatherology forecast. For today, a slight chance for an isolated shower or storm ending early on, otherwise becoming mostly sunny into the afternoon as high temperatures reach the mid-80s. We'll have our winds becoming breezy from the north and northwest. Then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 57. For Tuesday, lots of sunshine with upper 80s for highs, and then reaching the lower 90s on Wednesday. From the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Caro.
News and weather was brought to you today by Custra Electric and Irrigation. As we transition from prep season to watering season, Custra Electric and Irrigation wants to remind you of important offerings that set them apart. They're once again offering free FieldNet and NFTrax demos for this growing season. Demos are limited, so call today to reserve your pivot control or set of NFTrax. Want to skip the demo and buy? Custra Electric and Irrigation recently installed 4 radio bridges that allow the service area for telemetry and FieldNet to expand where you may not have previously been able to get it. These bridges also mean cheaper annual subscriptions, so talk to Lance to see what he can do for you. In need of tires but don't want to upgrade to NFTrax? Custra Electric has 11.2 by 38 tires on hand and ready for your pivots. Finally, is your pivot leaking more water than irrigating? This is your reminder to not settle for second best on sprinklers.
Update your sprinkler packages today for install before service season. For all this and more, call Lance at 880-1507. Check them out on Facebook or at custerei.com. Custer Electric and Irrigation. Experience the difference.
9:06, 68 degrees outside.
reverses damaged nails. Finally, me and thousands of others are free from fungus. And you can be too. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-764-9219. That's 800-764-9219. Eliminate your toe fungus once and for all, guaranteed. Call now, 800-764-9219, or visit crystalflush.com.
It is 11 past the hour of 9 o'clock. Mo is in the house. Ideal Realty. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Busy weekend. We've been talking about all the things that have been going on, and you were talking about the storm. I understand you got a little rain last night.
Just a little, yeah. Little lightning.
Little lightning, little wind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody heard it last night. That was crazy. You could hear it hitting the ground.
Yeah. It was a lively one. Do you know Brent Apperson? He's my co-host, my friend, my neighbor.
Yes.
Mo, I've got a question for you to get us started.
Mm-hmm.
You deal in real estate.
Yes,
okay?
I do.
And one of the biggest things about making a property sell is the way it looks out front.
Correct.
In
Curb
the
appeal.
yard.
Mhm.
All right, let me ask you this. If a neighbor was to come over and put a whole bunch of plastic ducks in the yard, would that increase or decrease the property, in your opinion?
Ducks.
No,
Why don't you go with flamingos?
No, please
Well, I
don't give
just-
him any more ideas.
This is a very special duck collection, Mo.
Okay.
And he says a bunch of ducks, which is not correct.
Well, what do you consider? What number do you consider a bunch? You told me that you had a male, a female duck, and then 6 ducklings. That's 8 ducks. To me, that's a bunch.
But the ducklings are just small, and they're just in a straight line behind mom and dad.
How do they go in the ground? Like, do they have stakes or?
Yeah, little stakes that go in the ground, and that Brett could move those when he mowed, so it wouldn't be, he wouldn't hurt them with the
Just
weed
what I
eater.
want to do. Go out every time before I mow and pull up all the ducks.
Don't know. They
And
kind of
then
sound adorable.
And the
How you sound like my mom.
And what would that do to the value of the home to have that looking so beautiful out front?
To really make it cute. We probably have to list that a little higher.
There you go.
Yeah. Although the mowing thing would be a pain.
Yes.
Don't you have a place where there's mulch or something? You could put them in there.
So do you ever price property like you give different values? Say the value with the ducks if they come with the home or without.
I sure could.
Okay.
Because I have given, here's the price of your home if you do my list of things, and here's
Sure.
your price if it's as is. I've never done that with any extras.
Okay.
Maybe
Yard decor.
appliances would be an extra. No ducks, not yet.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
No yard ornaments.
No yard ornaments. No.
Typically, I would imagine that the property will be more presentable if personal belongings are gone, right? To a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Maybe furniture would be good to leave in if it was presentable, and maybe some of that went with the house or something, I suppose.
Sometimes, yes. Less is more, is what they say. It is nice to have, especially like bedrooms. People, if they're empty, well, first of all, it's hard to take a picture of an empty bedroom and try to present what is this, with the pictures online. So it's nice to have a bedroom set in there. But also when you're showing it, if they are empty, which you have to show them both ways, everybody's got a different situation. I make sure I have a tape measure with me, because people can't, they walk in, oh, this is way too small for my king size bed. Like, well, let's just see. A king size bed is this big. There's plenty of room for your king size bed in this room. It's just hard. I'm very visual, so I understand what they're saying. They can't visualize that bedroom just seems too small.
Yeah, and some folks have that. I mean, I'm that way. You say, how many feet is that? And I go, I don't have a clue.
Right.
I have to measure it. And some people go, oh, that's about 7.5 foot across there, or something like that.
Oh yeah, your construction guys can do that.
Yeah, but I think some people are more comfortable with estimating than others, so that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, to try to help them visualize it. So if some things are in there, I have had people say, well, I can move, we're going to move. What do you want me to leave in? And I'll say definitely bedroom furniture if you can, even if it's just the bed, a couch and a chair so they can see how you've put the living room together. It is nice to have some things in there. But then, there's that tipping point where there's too much stuff. I can't see the house.
Yeah, I'm sure there is a nice medium there, because a house that's really, really nice with no furniture in it doesn't look as nice as it has some furniture in it. But like you say, if you can't see it, then you really don't know. So.
Exactly, yeah.
So what did you want to highlight today? You have some properties. You want to talk about the market. What's on your mind?
I know. It's Monday. I'm really not prepared today, guys. So I do have a lot of new listings coming up. I was thinking about that on the drive in. So I bet we're working on, between Kirsten and I, about 6 or 7 listings.
Which is kind of new.
Yes. I mean, very excited. Very reasonably priced listings. She's working on an acreage. I've got very nice, reasonably priced houses, 2-3 bedrooms. I have one in Sargent coming up, nice little home in Sargent that we need to get sold for a gentleman that's in Brookstone. So we've got a lot of things coming up. We have a few, definitely want to highlight my house on South 8th, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, beautiful front porch, garage with a loft. They've reduced it to $169,900. Beautiful family home. Would like to get more showings on that. We've kind of, July's that lull, and I didn't think about that when I got into real estate. I thought, all summer. And when I started real estate, July always has kind of been a lull. People are finishing up ball games. They're taking some vacations before school, getting their school shopping done and that type of thing. So we're in a little bit of a lull, but if you're a buyer and you're looking, get to the bank and come in and we can sit down and make a plan on, what's available. Like I said, and I think it's died down a little because there's only so many houses on the market right now, and the interest rates went up a little bit.
A little bit. Also, even though this lull is in July, the folks who are really wanting to relocate to a different home before you know it will be colder and winter. I hate to say that, but if you're going to move, you would like to maybe move late summer, fall.
Yes.
And if you started the process now, it would probably be late summer, fall in some cases before that actually happened, right?
Yeah, depending on your type of loan, exactly. So now's the time to be looking. Like I said, we've got listings coming up. If you want to list, it's also a good time, especially in the summer, to spiff up your curb appeal. Now's a great time. Get your windows washed and clean up. I always say clean those things that you wouldn't normally clean. Your spring cleaning things if you want to list your house. So now's the time to do that. I'm working with Karen Shipwright. She is doing, I sold Karen's house here in Broken Bow, and they bought, her and her husband bought one in Sargent. And Karen just does such a good job. She's just very, very talented in putting things together and being able to decorate on a budget. It's the other thing I love about Karen. The things she did to her house that I was just amazed. I'm like, that didn't even cost that much. And just really made it homey. I mean, her house was so homey. So she has, I've got some information at my office if anyone's interested. And she's got her fee schedule and everything on it. Very reasonable to, she'll come in and give you ideas on your house, and she can help. She has different things that she will do, and I'll let everybody talk to her about that. But it is about putting your house together so that we can list it.
Basically, it's what they call staging it, correct? And of course, you always mention that the houses need to be clean and necessary repairs made so they don't run into, walk into a kitchen and the faucet's leaking 10 gallons a day and that sort of thing. So those are things that you'll talk about, and now it sounds like you have expertise in helping stage, and you've got guys already know a lot about that. So
yeah, we try to help as much as we can, but it sometimes it's nice to get that outside person to come in and say, here's what I would do, and she's got pictures of what she has done, so you can get an idea of. I think she's well worth every penny, because like I said, she's reasonable for what she's doing. So if you're interested in something like that, I've got all Karen's information. So, and you talked about doing your little repairs. I also am working on an acreage over by Myrna. We're getting it ready to list. And, you know, it's a beautiful home on an acreage, but there's just this, you live in a house, things happen.
Oh, yeah. Do they ever?
Right? You know, there's a little ding here. And, when we moved, you know, there's dings in the closet. And we took something down. And the towel bar came down.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
And nobody put it back up because we don't. So let's get all those things repaired. I go around now and I turn every single light on. Some aren't working. Well, is it because it's the switch? Is it the bulb?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all these things have to work. And I don't know how many houses I've listed, and it's light bulbs. All it is light bulb needs changed out.
Yeah, I think we probably find some that aren't working at our house. I mean, most people would admit that, I have one of the two working. It's okay for you. But when you want to show it, you want it to be well lit. And
They all have to be working. Cracks in the windows, you know, go get the window panes replaced. It's the stuff that, it's there and you just let it go. You just forget about it.
Yeah. Well, we're all familiar with that scenario. Commercial commercial properties. Do you have any?
Don't right now.
Okay.
We sold them.
Sold them. That's good.
I know.
Now let's talk about the person who's thinking about relocating, and then they have a house that they're going to sell. I think sometimes one of the conversations I've heard is, especially not long ago, when everything was really firing up, they go, I put my house up for sale. I was planning on maybe moving a couple of months from now or 3 months from now, and it sold in 3 days.
Right.
And that can happen. Where are we at right now? Has things softened just a little bit there?
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We've got a little more time now, and things aren't just flying off the market. I think it's the interest rate, again, is what slowed people down. And like we've talked about many, many times, Dave and I, we've seen different interest rates, a lot higher than this.
Yeah, way higher.
Yeah, so you're still getting a good deal. And, you know, you can always refinance later. If it comes back down, I mean, those people were very, very, very lucky that they got that interest rate, the 2 point whatevers.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's just insane. So it's up to between 5 and 6, you know, depending on bank and situation and type of loan. But that's still, you know, I would have killed for that in 93.
I know.
When I was paying 9% on an FHA.
Yeah, that's the same here. We would have been real happy with that in 1974,
right?
And it was higher then, and way higher.
Yeah, and we had to pay for a survey with FHA. There was a lot more requirements. We had to pull out part of our sidewalk and re-pour it. Thank goodness Mike knows how to pour concrete. So because it was a tripping hazard. Now the tripping hazard thing's coming back. Don't get me wrong. I have had that. Put on some reports lately, but it has to be pretty bad.
I think back in that period of time, there was a little put on the seller, because if they maybe had a porch that wasn't poured, that should be poured, and they came in and said, you need to do this, 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 and this before we'll give that loan to the buyer.
Yep.
And I suppose we could be headed to a little bit more of that.
They're getting a little stricter on FHA.
Yeah.
Like I said, the tripping hazard thing's coming back. You know, if there's any plumbers out there, if you're putting in water heaters, please, 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 would you please put the little tube down 6 inches from the floor? I don't know why that's not being done. So that I get dinged on that every time. Now I just go in and I'm like, you need to find somebody to put the drop tube.
Yeah. And those kinds of people, by the way, need to be contacted early for the repairs we're talking about, plumbing and electric, because they're kind of busy. So.
They're very busy, and I am very, very, very lucky that there's plumbers and contractors and electricians and that come to my rescue rather quickly.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
We are. I am very, very fortunate. We have great contractors in our area that take care of us at Ideal Realty.
And nice thing in this part of the world, everybody knows everybody, so you can say, well, I can't do it today, but my buddy Jim might, and you get some of that too.
Then that's what we've had to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used different electricians and plumbers and contractors, and they're honest with me that they absolutely cannot get me worked in. Call this person. So,
well, when people out there listening and they're interested in talking to you about selling a house or maybe checking out what you have, I know you've got a great website, and you can do the virtual tours and all of that. You want to kind of cover that real quick?
Sure. So at goidealrealty.com, that's our website. We have the virtual tours on it. It also, we go through iHouse is the name of my website, and you can even go on there and you can put information in about your house that you want to sell, and it comes straight to us, and we can help you with listing it, with coming up with prices for it. It gathers information. As buyers, it'll gather your information and send it to us so we can help you quicker. Everything's about technology, and when you're sitting, it's mobile friendly, very, very mobile friendly, and that's what I wanted, because I'm guilty of it. As we're traveling, I'm doing business on my phone or on your iPad. So we definitely want it to be mobile friendly. You can go on there in your spare time. If it's midnight, if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, you can put it on, put your information in, and it'll come to us so we can help you that way. We are also on a multiple listing site. So with multiple listing service, we go on to Realtor and Zillow and Trulia, and but I think there's 50 websites.
Wow.
So the ones that aren't popular around here, they might be popular somewhere else. And as you know, we get people from all over coming into Broken Bow for different jobs. So we want to be on websites that, just because they're not known here, they're known in California or Oregon or Georgia, wherever they're coming from.
Okay. All right. Was there anything that you wanted to tell us that we didn't ask you about?
No.
Okay.
No, we covered it all, I think.
I'm glad you was suggestive, at least, that plastic ducts done in a proper way will increase the value of someone's property.
I didn't get that at all. What? I didn't get that from Mo at all. I was going to say.
That's what I got out of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well.
Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
We'll take a timeout or two and be back to conclude the show.
Barney Health Mart is proud to be your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy. Battle allergy symptoms with Loratadine non-drowsy antihistamine 30-count tablets, $6.99. Allergy relief antihistamine 30-count tablets are $9.99. 24-hour nasal spray with 72 metered sprays are $12.99. Barney Health Mart, downtown Broken Bow. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Chad Dolan here with Reynolds Auction, preparing for the annual Classic Car Auction with Cruise Night in Kearney, Nebraska. This year's event will be on Friday, July 15th at 7 p.m. in the air-conditioned expo building at the Buffalo County Fairgrounds. Whether you want to buy or sell a classic car, you'll want to be there. Live internet bidding, excellent commission rates, and only $2 for a huge event. Check us out for online bidding at reynoldsauction.com or give me a call at 308-325-1680. See you at the sale.
Klein's Appliance in Broken Bow has appliances because, yeah, it's in the name. But they have a lot of other great items on their showroom floor that you have to check out soon. Laundry pairs and freezers from 5 to 21 cubic feet are priced to sell. And make sure you look at the awesome 5-burner gas griddles they have. Brent also carries Pit Boss brand wood pellets in 4 different flavors, priced right so you can get to grilling. New to his hodgepodge of merchandise, electric bikes, perfect for cruising around town to save on gas. South C Street, Broken Bow, Lines Appliance.
Connie Ulmer Accounting is located across the street and south from Nebraska State Bank in downtown Broken Bow. Call 872-6101 to discuss their many services. That's 872-6101 for Connie Ulmer Accounting in Broken Bow.
This Crop Intelligence Update is brought to you by Taranis, dedicated to helping trusted advisors demonstrate more value for the growers, helping growers get more out of their acres, and helping us all generate more opportunity for our farming communities.
Drone imaging from Taranis is giving farmers and agronomists cutting-edge technology to make targeted decisions for their operations during a challenging growing season. Glenn Franz-Lubers with Central Valley Ag says this innovation increases return on investment.
So this has really helped us identify the areas in the field that need to be replanted, and we've been able to create variable rate planting prescriptions to make sure we're planting the right areas and zeroing in on those populations.
He says technology from Taranis saves him time and money, which flows directly to the pockets of producers.
Our scouts know where to look in the field, so they're not just randomly checking areas. I think we can be a lot more efficient, and we can cover more acres in a day.
It is 9:32. Before we go, we want to let you know about a missing dog, an older medium-sized black and tan dog from the Weisert area. If found, please call 870-4909. Again, that is a missing older medium-sized black and tan dog from the Weisert area. If you find it, please call 870-4909, and they would sincerely appreciate that. Brent, is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we take our final break and close the show?
I don't think so. I guess we'll just remind people that we'll be back in Holdridge tonight or late this afternoon, however you want to look at it, as Broken Bow continues play in the Class B Area 6 American Legion Juniors Baseball Tournament. They will play Gothenburg tonight. Broken Bow, the only team left who has not lost a game. So they will play Gothenburg today at 5. Regardless of the outcome, Broken Bow will play again tomorrow in the championship. So we'll have their game against Gothenburg on the air for you tonight on KBBN FM.
All right, thank you, Brent. And you know,
yes,
as my co-host, my friend, my neighbor, and more, that I would not, I'm not a nosy neighbor, but I did want to ask you, did you see Grant, our new news guy who lives in our neighborhood, this past weekend, anywhere around the neighborhood?
No, I can't say I did.
Well, I was on my way out here to get the candy for the parade, and Grant was in his yard in an
at his apartment,
lawn chair, lawn chair, reading a book. Now that's just not allowed in our neighborhood. Men just don't go out and read a book.
Oh, well, I think it's great.
I do too, but then what's going to happen?
Because if it was me, you wouldn't see me out there. I'd be inside watching television.
I know.
Which, quite frankly, you would be much better off if you were outside reading a book, in my opinion.
I understand all that. I agree with you 100%. Okay. I respect him for it. But he's putting pressure on us.
Oh, making us look bad. Now I got you.
Shelley's going to say, why don't you read a book?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll check into that a little bit more tomorrow.
Yeah, we need to just turn them into more like us.
Yeah. Not so literate and responsible.
Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, see ya.